Hello, this is Norton VA. I'm going to be doing a tutorial today. This is how to do a personality call for Garry's mod. This is personality call from Portal 2, and yeah, let's get started. So I'm doing this again because Matt updated the base for his core add-on. So it's kind of annoying in one way because I have to do the tutorial again, and I put quite a lot of effort into that tutorial, even though it wasn't very good anyway. And but it's also good because it means I can actually do this tutorial a lot easier because he's actually put all of the required stuff into just one folder rather than having to jump all over the place nicking things. So before we begin with this, we're going to go over the software required. Right, first bit, you don't have to use it, but it's recommended for this is Notepad++. It's a text editor that specialises in coding. If you do use this for coding, however, this does not compile this does not compile. This just writes up the source code. But for OUA, it's perfect because it doesn't need any compiling, so you can just save it and it'll work. So anyway, that's Notepad++. You can download that just there. The next thing is for doing the materials is VTF Edit. You can install it via an installer, or you can get an archive if you want to save it in your hard drive space. You can either use this, or you can use Paint.net with the VTF plugin. And if you don't have any kind of photo editing software, because you will be needing it, then Paint.net will be used for the software, and you can use you save it as straight as a VTF, so you got a double whammy right there. So you just click on one of these to download VTF Edit, or you can download Paint by clicking download here, and you can download this by clicking the archive here. So once you've got those, you'll want to move on to what you're going to do for the model. Now this is XVI32, it's a hex editor. If you know any other hex editors, you can download that. This is a free hex editor, so use this if you have no money or a tramp like me. Click downloads just to download it, and yeah, there you go. Another thing you'll need is Audacity. This is for your recording your sounds. Now you'll want to use this because it will always save your project rate as 44 100 hertz. So and that's what Source Engine uses on most games, to be honest. So I'm pretty sure I'm not quite sure what it means, to be honest, but yeah, it's just this. I've probably explained it completely wrong, and you're gonna flame me for it, but it doesn't matter. Just use Audacity because it's a good piece of software and it's free, and it just records like your sounds just straight away. You just press record button, hello. So yeah, once you got that, we can actually start on doing this now. You want to go to github.com/MattJeans. This is where you'll download the example core from. This has only just been released, it's brand new, so see, last updated 12 hours ago. So click on the example core, and then click the zip button to download it. But I've already got it, so I'm going to cancel that. So once you downloaded that, you I mean, obviously you're going to be seeing this tutorial now because you're going to have clicked the link that will be on this README file. So anyway, once you've got that, you want to go to the example core that you've got opened here, and you want to open your add-ons folder in your Garry's Mod directory, which is your Steam directory, then Steam apps, then your Steam name folder, and then Garry's Mod, and add-ons. So you want to drag that straight into there, like that, and then you want to open it. And first thing, actually, you don't want to open it. First thing you want to do is just rename it to whatever you want. So I'm going to rename it Tutorial Core V2. So now that you're in here, there'll be 4 folders and 2 files, like present at the minute. You want to delete the readme.md because that's for GitHub, so you don't need that. So first we're going to start off with OUA. So once you've done that, click Entities, then rename Send Exam Core to a 4-letter word that represents your core. So I'm going to do TUT2 because this is version 2 of the tutorial core. So click on that, click Shared, and that'll bring you to this. Now, this is fairly simple to be honest. It's amazing considering what it was originally. So anyway, end.print name, print name. That's just a name that comes up with your core. So when you browse it in the entities tab, that's just the name it comes up with. So I'm going to call this tutorial core v2. Use a capital C, v2. The ent to spawnable, leave that alone, and admin spawnable, leave that alone as well. End.category, portal to cores, leave that alone unless you want to put it in your own category. So you just leave it in that category because it just makes things simpler and people are more likely to use it because it's all in the same thing. So end.animation, now this is the animation that your core is going to play upon spawn. So I've made a list of all the decent animations that are on the core thing. I've made a list of all the decent core animations that you can use. Matt's set it up on a paste bin, which will be in the description for the GitHub page shortly. So yeah, so basically I'm going to type in spear idle neutral because this is an emotionless core. So end.delay. This is the delay between each sound that the core makes. So and it's in seconds as this says here, the instructions. So if you keep that 5 and your sounds they're all 10 seconds long, then when the first sound plays, the second sound is going to play like in the middle of the first sound because obviously that's what it's been told to do because the delay is shorter than the actual sound. So you want to put that to some like maybe a couple of seconds more than the length of like the average length of your sounds. So because I tend to do quite long sounds, I'll do 10. So that's a 10-second delay between playing sounds. So this dir thing, which is short for directory, this is the most important part of the entire core. If you do not set this up properly, then your core will not work. So you want to change this to your remember when we just renamed that folder now and we called it tut2 core? This 4-letter word, or yeah, we want to rename that to tut2 or whatever you want to call it. So if it was let's say the £1 fish core I did recently, you want to do that fish, or if your name was Matt, let's say just do Matt or something, or like Chris, you do like CHRS or something. I don't know, just anything that's 4 characters long. And don't do stupid characters either because it has to be characters that Windows will allow you to create a folder out of, if you get what I'm saying. Because there's some characters that you cannot use in a folder name on Windows, such as like asterisk and sign and stuff like that. So once you've done all that, well, that's it basically. You've done the OUA part. That's a quarter of the code done already. So once you've done all that, you can now move on to doing the materials. So when you open this, there'll be 2 folders, models and VGUI. We're going to do models first, and then open up the course folder, and this is the exam folder. We want to rename this to whatever you renamed the ent.dir bit in the OUA bit. So I'm going to do tut2, and then when you open that, it will take you to 6 files here. The first thing I'm going to do is open all of the Valve material files, or VMC for short. So I'm going to open all of those and rename the exam to tut2 because that's the 4-character word that you've used. So save that, close that, change that one, save, close, and change that one, save and close. So once you've done that, you can open Personality Spear and Personality Spear Lite. So when you've opened this, you want to go File, then Export, and then Personality_Spear. If you're using the Paint.net plugin, by the way, then I'm guessing it's just open it in Paint.net and then save it as a VTF when you're done editing it. It's fairly simple. So as I was doing before, I'm gonna save this in the same directory in where my the actual VTF files are. So where's it gone? Yeah, tutorial core. That's it. Materials, models, course, tattoo, personality spear.png. You can save it as whatever file format you like, apart from JPEG, because that does not have alpha channel. You will be needing alpha channel for this. So close that. Oh well, never mind. I was gonna say don't close that, but yeah, open this one and do export, and then export in the same place as personality spear light. I'm gonna do PNG because the other one was. So once you've done that bit there, open up in Fireworks, and for some reason my Fireworks is completely messed up again. Don't know why it's doing this, but anyway. So go to Personality Spear, and you'll see this texture sheet here, which you've just exported. So I'm going to do something very quick, and I'm going to speed it up, so you don't have to watch me, because I got bored in my last video of watching myself do editing.
I'll follow your soul!
Right, so now I'm done editing it. It's just a simple changing colour with a slightly fancy stripe. I'm going to save that. Now that we've done that, we're going to move on to the Personality Spear light. So I'm going to delete that one, and I'm just going to draw something very quickly again, so I'll speed this up.
You keep looking at me, I'm gonna put you in the fucking ground!
Right, so we've done a quick eye texture. It's just red gradient, but red radial gradient. So we're going to save that now. There we go. And we're going to close Fireworks because we've done the editing of the materials. Now we want to import them back into VTF Edit. So I'm going to open up VTF Edit again. Going to click Import, then Personality Spear. Okay. So this is our new texture. Now we want to click. First we want to check Options and make sure this isn't selected because there's already a VMT file there, so we don't need a new one. So make sure this is unchecked. So click Save and then Personality _ Spear. And save. If this comes up, then just click Yes. And then we're going to import the Personality Spear light. Okay. So we're going to save that as Personality Spear light and just click Yes again. So now we can close that. So now we've actually done textures for this. We've done half of our core already in 16 minutes. How cool. So go back to your tutorial core. Now we're going to start with the model. So open up the cores folder, then rename that to your 4-character word. So I'm going to do tut2, and then let me just demonstrate that. I'm going to do because I've got to set it up. So you want to do open with, and then you want to select XVI32. It won't come up in this because you haven't installed it. So you want to click more options, and then look for another app or program, as it's actually called in Windows 7. I don't know why they call them apps in Windows 8. So yeah, once you've done that, select Xperia 32 and then just open it. So now you're going to be brought to lots and lots and lots of numbers and letters. On one side, it's just loads and loads of numbers. This is just hexadecimal. Again, I'm just saying just, but it's hexadecimal. I don't understand anything. All I know is 00 is a blank, and that's it. That's all I know. Anyway, I've gone off topic again. It happens a lot. So you want to go to where it says at the top here, cause exam core.mdl. You want to change the exam to your full character word. So I've actually broken that. So let's just try that again. If you make any mistakes, as in like changing one of your characters, you will break the model, or you may break the model. So you want to be careful with that. You do want to be careful. So once you've done that, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and on the very last line, it will say this: personality, spirit, light, models, cause, exam. You want to change that to your four-letter word again. So tattoo. Now I've done that, you can click save, and that's your model done. You've done 3/4 of your core already. We're nearly done now. It's fine. So all we have to do now left is the sounds. So sounds, cores, rename that to tattoo or your four character word. And there's already a sound in here which is called example. I'll just show you what
Example core sound.
and yeah, that's it. I'll be right back whilst I've already done some sounds. So yeah, right. I've got a few sounds now, but there's another thing we can do that I didn't explain in the last tutorial simply because I forgot about it. We can create special sounds that do have a special purpose. So we right click, do new folder, and then we can call it special. I believe it's called specials. Let me just check the thing. Let me just have a quick look. Yep, the folder's called special. I just had to double check that because I haven't really done very much with the special folder. So once you have this folder, you can click inside it, and then you can record more sounds inside it. So what you do is, I'm actually going to record these sounds live, so if there's any distortion, then I'll try and edit it out. I don't know if there will be or not, so I'm going to... Anyway, so special sounds, you may have noticed on some chords you can press E on them, and it'll play a special sound. That's one of the special sounds. Sometimes when you undo a chord, it will also play a sound, and that's another special sound. And when you damage one of the cores, that's another special sound. So I'm going to do these use damage and undo sounds now. Ow. So now we have a damage sound, which is what I'm going to start off with. I'm going to just amplify a bit because my mic's really quiet. There we go. Ow. And the thing about the damage sounds is they have to be very, very short. So, like this. Ow. Ow. Yeah, that's pretty short. So, gonna export that in special, and then call it. It has to be called these names. The other ones you can call them whatever the hell you like, but these have to be special names, and they have to be a WAV format. They cannot be MP3, so you have to click save and do that. Yeah. So once you've got your damage sound, right. So now we're going to do the use sound. This is the sound which when you press E on the your use key on a chord, the default is E by the way, it will play a sound then. So that's the dog, just don't mind him. So I'm gonna do hi. So I'm gonna amplify that a little bit as well. Just that much will do. And again, this is preferred if this is short, but it doesn't have to be like too short. But it can be. It's a bit better if it is short, but it's not as major as the other one, the damage sound. So I'm going to export that as use. So that's another sound. Right, so the last step we're going to have to do is the undo key. So when you delete the core, it will play the sounds. So I'm gonna do this now. Bye bye. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna have to amplify it again because my mic sucks. I'm gonna make this a bit shorter. Bye bye. That's fine. So file export, and this one has to be called undo. So those are those special sounds, and keep in mind that they had to be called this. DMGs for damage, undos, and use are fairly self-explanatory. Anyway, so we're actually done with the sounds now. Yay! We finished our core. Just one more thing we have to do. This add-on.txt here. It's fairly simple. You just have to change this to your specified needs. Actually, there's one more thing we have to do after this. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, there's two more things. This and one more thing that I'll explain in a minute. So we have the example core here. So I'm going to call it tutorial core v2. So this is just a name that comes up with the add-on info version 2.0.0. Let's just call it update 31st of the 12th. 12, that's today, so it's fine. Author name, that'd be your name obviously, but I'm going to do Norton V8. Author email, I'm going to do nortonv8@gmail.com. Author URL, this is for your website. I don't have a website, so I'm going to leave that as not applicable. Info, I'm just going to call it that. A tutorial call to guide you through the process. So that's it. That's the add-on info bit. So we can close that now. And one more thing we have to do. We need to do this in-game though. So we're actually going to test out our core now. So I'm going to switch over to DX Story now. Right, so now we're in-game on Garry's mod. We're in GM Construct in a minute, because you want to go here for a reason. So first, just outside, we're going to test out our core. So it'll be an Entities tab, then Portal 2 cores. It'll be this one here, Tutorial Core V2. Notice it has no spawn icon. That's why we're in GM Constructs, because of the white room. We'll be needing it to create the spawn icon. So anyway, click Tutorial Core V2. I can't think of any more sounds. Hi. Hi. Right, so it should play some sounds at random. I can't think of any more sounds. Right, so it does play the sounds then, that's cool. When you press E on it, hi. Hi. It says hi. When you damage it, this sound's been recorded. I'll see if there's a soundless weapon in my thing. Other. I can't think of any more sounds. You should be able to hear that. It's fairly quiet, but it's saying ow, and when you undo it, bye -bye. It says bye bye. So now we know that the core works. If yours hasn't, then you want to go back over the video because you've done something wrong. I'm going to go into the white room here, and if your core is white, is a white texture below it, then you want to change the colour of the panels to something like green or whatever. Green is what I used for my core the other day, but you don't have to. So anyway, spawn in the tutorial core, like so. Point it upwards or something, and then get your camera tool out. Like that. Right, try and get as close to it as possible, and then just take a screenshot like that. There we go. Hello. So now we've got a screenshot of our core. We can now leave the game, and I'll see you back in a minute. Right, so now we're back in our thing on desktop. I'm not very slick, if you haven't noticed already. So anyway, now we're here. We're gonna go to Garry's mod, then screenshots, and this is where the screenshot of your call is going to be. So here is our screenshot right here. So we're going to open that in Fireworks or your chosen um, photo editing software of choice. Hasn't given me an option there, weirdly. So I'll just open it from here. There we go. So here it is. So you want to try your best to select a perfect square. So I'll be doing, just for this, I'll try and do 1024 by 1024.
The fucking ground.
There we go. So now we've got 1024 by 1024. We can do Control X, which will cut it out of there. Create a new document, and then it may be different in your photo editing software, but if you know how to use it, then you should still be able to follow this quite easily. So paste it in there, then change your canvas to transparent. So, and then get the magic wand tool, select the white space, all of the white, delete it. Now I need to change the tolerance a bit because it's a bit high. There we go, that's perfect. So do that. And that's it. That just spawn icon. But you want to resize this actually to 512 by 512, I believe. So image, go to image size and 512 by 512, and move that to the center. There we go. So do save, and then save it in your add-on folder again. So Steam apps, Garry's mod, add-ons, tutorial core v2, materials, VGUI. That's what this folder's for. Entities, and then you want to right-click, new folder, sent. Actually, no, you don't want to right-click new folder. I made this mistake in the previous one. Don't follow what I did. So you want to call this sent underscore tut to core. Whatever you called it originally when you created it in the LUA thing. So let me just demonstrate here. Whatever you called this folder here, call it that, and the materials VGI entities thing. So right, what we're going to do is we're just going to open this one because it's already been set up properly. So we're just going to rename this to sense to core. So just save that. Rename it to sense tattoo core, and then we want to open this in VTF edit. So I'll just open this and open this and go. Sorry, I've just clicked the wrong one. To do import, and then just find your spawn icon, click OK, and then click save as. Don't save it as sent exam core. Save it as sent tattoo core or whatever you called yours. What I'd recommend for the first time, if you're doing this for the first time, then follow my instructions exactly. And once you've got to grips with it, then you can start experimenting around with it a bit and calling it whatever you like and stuff like that. But there's obviously some rules you have to follow. So now that should be the spawn icon, and that should hopefully work. So this has been it for the tutorial, and I've been on V, and see you later.